state of affairs, particularly at an agency whose motto is fidelity, bravery, and integrity? I think not. To my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, please replace President Trump's name with your own name in a small sample of things Mr. Strzok has said. Envision how you would feel if you found out that the chief agent investigating you as a member of Congress was making these statements. F Trump. Trump is a disaster. Just went to a Southern Virginia Walmart. I could smell the Trump support. Or perhaps most alarmingly and revealingly, we'll stop it, referring directly to Mr. Trump's candidacy for president. The United States Supreme Court has recognized that it is unquestionably the duty of all citizens to cooperate with the Congress in its efforts to obtain the facts needed for intelligent legislative action. It is their unremitting obligation to respect the dignity of the Congress and its committees and to testify fully with respect to matters within the province of proper investigation. Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, you know, or we all know, that if we were to ask a question of a witness about a military secret, if we were to ask him, how does the H-bomb work? He could not answer that question. This is the same thing. That is a classification issue, not an issue of whether or not this is a valid question for which I appeal the ruling of the chair. He's ruled it's not a point of order. That is not a ruling. Mr. Strzok? Mr. Chairman, I insist on my point of order, and I insist on Mr. Strzok appealing the ruling of the chair. Mr. Strzok, knowing the advice that
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Point of order. I believe there's a point of order that's been raised, and you've ruled we have it right now, Chief. Answer, Mr. Nadler.
It is not a valid point of order. And I have already
on that question, because you don't
question on that ruling. Point of order, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Strzok. Mr. Chairman, I appeal the ruling of the chair that you have just made on that on whether you have not stated a valid point of order. And that is your ruling, and I appeal it. That is not an appealable
point of order. Yes, it is, Mr. Chairman. Appealing the ruling of the chair is exactly what he's requesting. He's appealing it. That requires a vote to either sustain it or overrule it.
The gentleman from New York has not cited a rule of the House that is being violated. Therefore, it is not a point of order.
That's your ruling.
That ruling of the chair.
Mr. Chairman, is it not appropriate to also interject the attorney-client privilege, which cannot be overridden, and is a rule of the House to the extent that witnesses have the right to an attorney-client privilege in this House? And that is what this witness is asserting, attorney-client privilege, and he has been advised not to answer the
gentleman will suspend.
All right, pretty explosive hearings today, pretty amazing moments. By the way, Chairman Gowdy is going to be on Hannity tonight from London. Sarah Carter is on the ground. She's been watching and following this all day. David Schoen, Civil Liberties Criminal Defense Attorney, and Greg Jarrett, his book out in, 9 days now. And it is the Russia hoax, the illicit scheme to clear Hillary Clinton and frame Donald Trump. Let me go to Sarah. I honestly have never seen anything. I never thought this could happen in America. And I love law enforcement. I love the FBI. I love the rank and file. I still believe they're going to be the heroes in this story. But the highest levels of the FBI rigged an investigation to protect their favorite candidate. They overlooked the law. They covered the whole thing up. They rigged the whole investigation. And then they did attempt to frame Donald Trump. And and the same people, led by Peter Strzok, at the heart of it all.
You have to think, they must have been doing this for some time. This doesn't just evolve in this election. These are people that have been together in the FBI, have grown together, have built up their ranks together, have become a kind of club. And they went to the 7th floor, and you're absolutely right, Sean. The rank and file have nothing to do with this. But they did know what was going on at the 7th floor. I can tell you this because I talked to them. I talked to a lot of the guys that have worked counterintelligence, people that have worked...
Aren't there 30 of them begging to be subpoenaed because they want to tell the American people the truth about the corruption of these few at the top?
There are members of the FBI, and I don't know the exact number now. I can tell you that there's more than 2 handfuls that I know of that would like to talk, that would like to go forward and tell their stories, but they don't necessarily have to do with just this particular story. They feel that there has been a corruption within the system, And not only that within the FBI, within the Bureau, but throughout the system, within the NSA, within the CIA, an abuse of power that they say, and you know, I can tell you this, the church hearings that took place a long time ago, this is something that will come about again.
Bannon said it earlier today. I mean, it's coming back.
He's absolutely right, because this is something that needs to be investigated. This was an abuse of the political system, weaponization of our intelligence agencies, and this is the reason why this is so important. This is the reason why Americans, and look, Strzok was so smug today. Any American that watched this hearing and just looked at this guy's face and his smug smile and how he was going to get away with it should know this is exactly how all these guys have behaved. They're smug and they're arrogant, except for, thank goodness, McCabe was fired. Thank goodness, Comey has been fired. Thank goodness, the rest of those guys that worked with him have either been pushed out or they've retired out. So we're cleaning out the system, but we need to be willing to look at the truth. And that's the only way this is going to get fixed.
You know, David Schoen, let me go to the heart of this, too, because I call it the biggest abuse of power scandal, biggest corruption scandal in history. The danger is that, you know, remember, David, I know I talked to you at the time, the day that I said, if, not I would, if Robert Mueller was asking for everybody's cell phones that he was investigating, if I ever went on the air, which I wouldn't, and I said it would be bad advice and it wouldn't work out well, and literally the liberal media lit up. If I did the things that Hillary did, and I deleted, and I acid washed with BleachBit, and I went ahead and smashed devices and pulled SIM cards, if I put if I had classified information on a server, and I not only mishandled it but destroyed it, I would be in jail. If I did what Lisa Page did yesterday, I don't think you and Greg combined and the best attorneys in the country could get me out of jail. I'd be Paul Manafort, 23 hours a day behind bars. How do they get away with this? And if they do, doesn't it mean equal justice under the law, equal application under the laws? Doesn't it mean that our constitutional republic really isn't working, and that we have, you know, our criminal justice system now is that the equivalent of Venezuela or the former Soviet Union or that of under Putin?
Yes, yes, yes to everything you said. You'd be under the jail. Look, take just the example of text messages and emails. Strzok said today he didn't mean what he said. For example, very clear meaning, I would think, when he called Trump supporters ignorant hillbillies. He didn't mean that at all. He says, let me tell you something, Strzok and other FBI agents every day in this country use emails against criminal defendants, getting life sentences for those defendants, and convince the jury in every case that they meant exactly what was written in those emails. This guy's an FBI agent. He knows better. Let me say, Strzok's line today that should have just shut down everything. Strzok said flat out he does not believe that bias was expressed in any of his emails. Now, that's an absolute joke. But he also said that the IG didn't find bias. And this is why I say I'm disappointed in the way the hearings were conducted, because you may look at Strzok and think he's a liar. You should hear Strzok's own words, confronted with the text messages and confronted with the report. That's not what the IG found. And specifically with Strzok, the IG found in Chapter 9 and on page 149, note 120 of the report, that there was reason to believe that there was bias in Strzok's decision to prioritize the Russian investigation and to bury the Wiener laptop thing. Look, you can't say they're just personal emails. He said specifically when Ted Cruz dropped out of the race, now I have to speed up the mid-year investigation. It's absolutely an abomination what this guy is saying, and I'd like to believe that people, listen to what various Congress people say when they throw out their lines. We should hear it from this guy's own mouth. I would have paid money to be able to cross-examine someone like Peter Strzok under oath. This is a dream, to confront him with his own texts, word after word, and not let him get away with things.
Yeah, Greg, I mean, look, this is the heart and soul of your book, and I've had the pleasure of actually reading it. The amount of information, the depth and research is almost unprecedented for any book I've read. And it proves the case beyond any doubt. Where do we go from here? How do we get our constitutional republic, our system of justice back in order, considering the magnitude of trying to steal a presidential election and rig a presidential election?
It has to be exposed fully and completely. As you and I were talking yesterday, I cited the famous quote from Justice Brandeis, sunshine is the best disinfectant.